Hey guys, this is Voz here. Today I was, thinking of doing a brief video on the Crusades for everyone who doesn't really know about them. In total, there are about 9 Crusades committed by the Kingdoms of Christendom, with 8 being actual military crusades, and the 9th being the Children's Crusade, which is exactly as it sounds. It was undertaken by children. Beginning with the First Crusade, it actually throws a lot of what people believe the Crusades to be about into question, as the First Crusade was more due to politics and land than actually reclaiming the Holy Land in the name of God. The First Crusade actually kind of commenced when the Byzantine Emperor asked the Pope for aid against the Turks, who had been actually taking over a lot of the Byzantine Empire at this stage. The nations of Europe answered the Pope's call and set off, also helping the Byzantine Empire to reclaim a lot of its land and push further into the Middle East, where Israel is currently. This was one of the most successful crusades of all of the crusades, actually claiming Antioch, Jerusalem, and many states along the way. The Second Crusade, much like the First Crusade, was more about politics and land gaining, and sought to expand the borders of the state of Jerusalem, and quite possibly the Principality of Antioch. Now, I'll be the first to admit, I don't know much on the Second Crusade. All I know is that it was undertaken by a few people, and it predominantly ended in failure. It was a colossal disaster from what I know. In between the Second Crusade and Third Crusade, Salahuddin raised a large army and ended up taking Jerusalem. This kind of sparked the Third Crusade, which involves famous figures such as Richard the Lionheart. Now, the Third Crusade, arguably the most well-known crusade, whilst it did gain a lot of support from a lot of European factions, such as the English and French, and even the Holy Roman Empire, and got so close to Jerusalem, it never was able to reclaim the city. And it ended with Richard the Lionheart ended up being imprisoned. And the French king basically abandoned the crusade to go back to France and pursue wars against the English, and such. And it was deemed a failure for the most part. On to the Fourth Crusade, the last major crusade to retake the Holy Land. This one is most famously known for not getting anywhere near Jerusalem, and is most famous for the sacking of the city of Constantinople and the founding of the Latin Empire. Of the remaining 5 crusades, many of them failed in doing anything. The Sixth Crusade was able to retake Jerusalem and many other cities, but wasn't through acts of violence. The city was reclaimed through acts of negotiation. One of the final crusades to actually do something was the Ninth Crusade, led by Edward I, otherwise known as the Hammer of the Scots. This crusade was able to retake Nazareth, and eventually was brokered down to peace terms, and, that was the end of the Crusades. Thanks for listening, guys, and any recommendations I can give would be to, 1, go outside, do your own research into this. There's probably a bunch of stuff that I missed, that I possibly even got wrong. This is due to there being huge wealths of knowledge and counteracting views. So if I got anything wrong, please just leave it in the comments and be polite. Don't be, assholes about it. For YouTube videos, I definitely recommend going and looking at the Overly Sarcastic Productions video on the Crusades. They're actually quite good. The guy who does it, Blue, he goes a lot more in depth, and I believe also provides some good sources for it, and it's quite good. They're also really funny. I hope you all enjoyed, and I can't wait to see you all in the next video.